In this week's video, we see a dirty driver brake check me in race A. Race B sees me get spun round at the Seaside. And in race C, a Moses maneuver goes a bit pear-shaped. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2022. It's week 49 and this week it's a bit of a quick week in terms of the speed. We carry a lot of speed in all three races. Now, the race in the background, we're at Alsace, but it is the test course, which I have not raced too often. And we know how crazy that hill is in this circuit. Right, what we're doing here, first of all, we're racing 8 laps here at Alsace, the test course, of course. It's a great start. It's sports hard tyres, tyres want fuel and tyre wear, and we're in the choice of Toyota GT86 or the Subaru BRZ. Obviously, they're technically the same car, so pick and choose as you like and get ready to rumble in this race. Right, there's also timestamps there for you if you want to skip this race because it is a bit memey. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and let's get ready for race A. Here we are then at the start. Now, this one is going to be a sketchy one. There's some dirty driving in this. I hope you're prepared. But before we get into that, the start. Hold the handbrake, as always. Traction control on 1. And get ready to release it. There we go. We release it. Off we go. We change gear. And then we drop the traction control to 0. So we're going to head towards turn 1 then, a side-by-side, very sharp corner, so everything is all going to go wrong here as we go into here. Stacey goes into the back of front somehow. We just stay on the inside here as much as we can, and there's lots of carnage. Yeah, we'll have a look at that on the bloopers because we gained so many positions here, and we're side-by-side with Stacey Guy. We're going to head up towards turn 2 then. And Stacey is going to be a bit of a dirty driver. Keeps ramming me there, sends me off, then runs deep to purposely push me out wide there. Not the greatest of moves. We also get hit by somebody else there. I have no idea who that was. We're side by side with them, low. And yeah, we give them room on the outside and Stig gets full advantage of that. Continues on through up into P5. Well played, Stig! Right, let's advance further on then. Let's get in the action. And you can see Stacey Guy in the distance there. I wasn't too happy with them, that is for sure. They got to move down the inside here. And there's a little bit of contact there as they go over the crest of the hill. They're going to go into this left-hander. Through we go. And yeah, Stacey loses position there from Stig. So we go towards the inside. Going to take that position very quickly. Although after what happened last time, I was a bit wary about what was going to happen here. So you can see that straight through. And they go and punt Stig there. Now, Stacey, you technically hit me off and you hit somebody else off, Ransom Hank. You can't then go hit somebody else off if you're doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So that was bad of you, Stacey Guy. Really not on. Not acceptable driving in the slightest. As we see them come into this corner, they get it slightly wrong, so we're going to go down the inside. Now, yeah, as I say, you can't do that. Stop killing people because you think they're in the wrong and you're in the right when you're also in the wrong from an earlier incident. People make mistakes. You have to accept that. Stig quite clearly wasn't trying to ram you off. There was a slight mistake there. And you just thought, oh, to hell's with it. I'll punt him off. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Right, anyway, let's get on to some good driving here. We've got Paul on tilts there as we go through the right-hander. Going to go for a cutback here. We are alongside here. I wasn't too sure where to rev to with this car. As you can see, I changed it a bit earlier than Paul, but it gave me an advantage as we go up the hill, as we go into the braking zone. And, yeah, we get it done and dusted. Keep tight here. You will have a lap guide later on for you. Just got the Greek driver up ahead, and I hope you're prepared for some more dirty driving because it gets very dirty now, I can tell you that much. Coming into here, I go a bit deep. They go very deep here, so I'm down in second gear, which I wouldn't advise. As you see, it's a bit oversteery. So we'll leave that corner, and we've got a big old run on the Greek driver. Now, I would change gear towards the bottom of the hill here to get full advantage. They come across here, and I can see what they're doing there. At first, I think, okay, they're being overly defensive, but fine, whatever. It's a bit of a dirty defense, but it is what it is. We've got one more lap to have a good race with them, so, you know, I was just like, okay, that's fine. So continue on through here. Lots of oversteer. Let's actually advance a bit further on then towards the corner at the top of the hill again. So they go in very deep. So I'm like, excellent. This is easy. I can just go for the cutback here. No problemo. And the cutback on the exit of this corner because they've gone so deep that they're going to have issues. So you can see we get the run here. We leave that corner. And as we go and look on the inside, they just brake check us and send us flying off there. Absolutely disgusting driving, to be honest with you. Disgusting. And I did challenge them after. Now I'm going to have dirt on my tyres, of course. So I've just been off as well. I did challenge him afterwards. I just thought, what the hell is that? What kind of driving is that, man? It's just complete dirty driving. That's not bad. That's dirty driving. And look, they celebrate it as if they're the best driver in the world. What's that about? Like, what is that about? It's unbelievable. So, yeah, Greek Pilot GT, you're a dirty driver. Right, track guide time. Here we are then with the track guide. We're going to head down towards turn 1, which is tricky in itself. So you're looking at the start of the curb on the left-hand side, and you want to straight line the braking as much as possible. So I don't change down gears really quickly here. Hard on the brakes. I let off, I get in a straight line, and then hard brake and shift down again. Now, I'd stay in third gear if you want a bit of stability. You can go to second, but you will get a bit of oversteer on exit. Right, let's fast forward all the way to the top of the hill, because it takes a little bit of while in this car. As you head towards the top of the hill, then, you want to brake quite late for this, actually. So the start of the curb here is when you want to brake late. You want to take a wider line and then come in tight. You want to be tight at the end of the corner, not at the start. Notice how I'm going out wide here. Coming back across. Keeping it tight then as I go down the hill. It opens up this corner, and I can just full throttle through this corner and have no real issues there. Although I do go a bit wide, but I'm on the curb. So no penalty, no foul. I continue on towards this right-hander. This right-hander, you've got those hay bales on the left-hand side, just as the barrier that ends on the left. Now, what you want to do here is just dab the brake and chuck it in and let the car roll through the corner a little bit here, okay? Notice I went hard on the brakes, then I let off. I'm slowing the car down a little bit. As the curb starts on the right-hand side is when I usually accelerate, but I've got to judge it a little bit there. And then I leave the corner in fourth gear. And that is literally it here at the Alsace test course. Nice and easy. That's it then for race A. Let's head to race B. Welcome to one of the most common combinations in existence. However, we haven't done this too much in Gran Turismo 7, so, you know, fair enough with this one. It is Dragontrail, Seaside, and Group 3 machinery. Let's jump straight into the race details then. Let's find out exactly what we're doing here. We're racing 4 laps here. It's a rolling start, and we are finally on the racing medium tyres. Thank you, PD. Thank you. We're also in Group 3 machinery, as you know. So the Supra is going to be very dominant here. There'll be a few other cars taking their fancy as well, but I would go with the Supra. That's what I did. Let's jump to the race and let's have a look exactly what happened and whether we have any deaths at the chicane of death. Here we are then at the start. Make sure for all sorts of cars here, which I was surprised about, to be honest with you, because the Supra is definitely going to be one of the dominant, if the dominant car here. But even so, we start the race, and the rolling start there is pretty terrible, being on the hill. But lots of racing to go. What can we do here as we head towards turn 1 then? Oh, contact up ahead there between the two, German and Spaniard there. In towards the braking zone now. Mo brakes extremely early here. Looking and I'm like, nah, I'll back out of that completely, because if Mo doesn't see me, then yeah, we're going to have an accident there. Now, there is a mixture of all sorts of driver ratings in this. I didn't realize it initially, and when at the end, it sort of explained a lot of the stuff that goes on. Go through here, then, we're going to head into the braking zone, and we get hit behind from Luca, who then piles into Mo there from the back, and then spins me round. Thank you, Mo. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Mo, was it? It was Luca. Apologies, it was Luca, not Mo. Apologies. Thank you, Luca, for that spin. I really wanted that. Right, you just need to be a bit more careful there. I think that's more bad driving than dirty driving. We're going to talk about that a lot in this one, I suspect. So the McLaren F1 goes, well, it's going very slow out there. Now, the McLaren F1 is a handling car now. It is not a power car. Do remember that. We catch up to Luca here, and Luca gets it all sorts of wrong, and they get a lot of oversteer, but well held, to be fair, well held. To leave that corner, we gain that position then. As I say, I think Luca's driving was just bad driving, not dirty driving, as we go into the left-hander. Dirty driving is what the Greek did in the first race, which is brake check you, which is ridiculous, to be honest with you. As we look in the rear-view mirror then, so Luca comes through this corner and bottoms out the curb and bins it there. Don't bottom out on that curb. Don't bottom out on any curb on this track. Turn 1 is also the same thing. It will spin you out very quickly, and Luca actually leaves the race there. Mo goes deep on Tony up ahead as we leave that corner. So we're in the thick of the action again. It's not all over after that pretty bad start. And we let off completely here through the chicane of death, because obviously everyone's braking and slowing down massive now. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. Oh! Radeon UK has gone there. And we have a run on motors. We've got a penalty up ahead for P13 Black. We've also got somebody else there with a penalty. And somebody else with a penalty here. How many penalties are there here as we go through here then? We're up into P8 there. Happy days. Now we come through here, and Mo just taps my rear here, which is not the greatest. I don't know whether there was also a tap from the Supra on the other side. I'm not too sure. But then Mo keeps pushing me over here. You can't keep pushing me over, mate. Literally, there's the grass there. So that's a bit annoying of you there, mate. You need to give it a bit of room. You do. You have to. Now, looking at your driving rating afterwards, it's what I expect from that driving rating, so I would consider it just bad driving again, not necessarily dirty driving. As Javier there just taps Mo. Now, we're actually going to get a run on Javier as well. Now, the Subaru BLZ is not a car you want for this circuit. I don't care who you are. You cannot drive that car fast at this circuit in the slightest. As we come into here, then I braked late because I didn't want to get rear-ended there. And we continue out the corner, and we're in P8. So let's advance further on then. So we can see here, Marshall's got past Millis, sorry. We're through the left-hander then. And again, somebody braking in the chicane. It is so deadly to brake in the chicane. Do not brake in the chicane of death. You're asking for death doing it, and we've seen it all throughout this race so far, people braking. Do not brake in it. Let off early, let the car roll through the chicane if you're struggling. You brake, you understeer, you hit barrier. That's what I'm telling you right now. So, we're fighting for the cursed position here of P6. Tony up ahead. Once again, I'm just letting off a little bit here, giving myself a bit of room. Now let's come into here. Tony brakes as well, and look at what it does to the car. It unsettles it so much. Do not brake in the chicane. Oh, it slows me down massively here. So we've actually had a really slow race just because we've been caught up in all the action here. Heading in towards this braking zone. I noticed Tony brakes a little bit late here and leaves the gap open as well. So I'll go down the inside, slow it down the apex. Through I go, and we're going to get P6. Happy days. Not too bad after the start, at least. I'm really happy with that. P1 actually binned it during the chicane, I think, as well. We'll get that in the bloopers or something. But you can see a mixture of cars there. I would go with a Supra. It is really strong. Now it's time for the track guide you've probably seen 1 billion times. So here we are with a lap guide at the good old Seaside. We've seen this many times. Let's go again. So turn 1, the orange barrier on the left-hand side is your brake marker coming into here. Nice and easy, nice and bright. And you're going to drop to 3rd gear in the Toyota Supra. You want to clip the inside a little bit here. Try and get your wheel caught on the inside of the curb like so. You can accelerate out and you should have no problems there. If you do go over the curb, be careful of it bottoming out and spinning you out. Through here, you may want to lift a little bit, like so. And as you go into this braking zone here, as the grass meets the curb there, that is going to be your brake marker. You can try and use the other one, but honestly, for this, I would be braking early here to get the car stopped. Now, I'm doing this in 3rd gear. You can do this in 2nd gear as you accelerate out there. That is Sector 1, all done and dusted. Right, we're going to head down towards the S's then, a beautiful set of corners. And on the left-hand side, we have an orange painted barrier. So guess what? We're using that on that left-hand side. As that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes here. Around 115 miles an hour is what you want to do. If you're over that, happy days. As you see there, I got 117. But remember, the more speed you carry, the more it compromises other parts of this. Now, you may have to lift off throughout parts of the S's if you get it a little bit wrong. Don't worry about lifting off a little bit. Just make sure you make the corner and don't bottom out on the exit curb on the final S. Heading down towards the hairpin then, the end, oh sorry, not the end of the curb, the start of the curb there is your brake marker here, so, or 150 meter board if you're on the inside. We're going to hit the brakes here, we're going to drop down to the 2nd gear. Now, if you can get your wheel just hooked a little bit on the curb, that's good, but accelerate out the corner, widens there for you to accelerate out, and that is set to done. Right, we're heading to the chicane of death then. Sprint through here. This is where it gets a bit sketchy. You're going to want to lift here. Make sure you get lined up and then you can accelerate through. If you're in an MR car, lift over the curb. Do not accelerate over, otherwise you will pull a full wheelie. The last corner then, we have orange painted barrier on the right-hand side. Brake just after that leaves your screen, okay? Just after that leaves your screen. Hit the anchors there. And we're going to drop down to 3rd gear, then 2nd gear as we go through this corner. We're going to leave that corner then and head towards the line. And that is going to be it for Dragontrail Seaside. You've seen this many times throughout the years on this channel. That is one more. Let's head then to Race C. Welcome to Sardegna. Once again, we seem to be here quite often at the moment. And we're on the same layout as last time as well. It's layout A. And you can see in the background, we are in Group 4 machinery for this one. Not the fridge like last time. The fridge was absolutely crazy. This isn't as crazy. It is controllable. So you should be able to have a good race here. What are we doing? Let's find out. Well, we're doing 10 laps here at Sardegna Layout A. It's a rolling start. You have to use both the soft and medium tyres. It's ×2 fuel ×7 tyre wear. And of course, we're in Group 4 machinery. That tyre wear may look significant, but it's not that significant if we're honest with you. Soft and medium tyres both required. You can go quite a while on the softs. And 4-wheel drive, obviously, one of the quickest machineries in Group 4. So that is normally your go-to. And it's your go-to here as well. So I chose the Subaru WRX. There you go, folks. I'm keeping that one in. Right, let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. And I'll also give you lovely people another track guide. We are then at the start. Now, the Subaru WRX is going to be the strongest car here this week. There's just no doubts about it at all. It literally is OP. It is OP. I'm sorry to say this. There will be other cars that can try and compete, but the Subaru is going to be good. Trust me, it's good. Right, we're going to start the race then with the rolling start, which is nice and easy here at Sardegna, eh? And we're going to head down towards turn 1, which can be sketchy with the rolling start, especially with a mixture of cars here. We all slow it down very nicely here, so not too bad of a first corner, to be honest with you. Clean from everybody. It's nice. It's what we want to see, especially after these first 2 races that we've had. Anyway, we're on the outside of Make Dosey here. The polish drive gives me just enough room there as we head in towards the braking zone then. Those two get into a massive fight here. And yeah, we didn't even realize the Italian was there, to be honest with you. But we do get our position up into P14 and continue out that corner. Yeah, let's see what we can do versus the Italian then. Also in the Subaru, of course, there'll be lots of these. As I say, that's what you're racing this week. Now, everyone goes a bit too deep here, so I want to get the run through the corner. Big crash up ahead between, who was that? Ducati Steve and Fransom Hank. As we head in towards the braking zone then. We're down the inside. We're right behind the Italian. Get the job done nice and easy. Now, of course, we're going to be in the Italian slipstream. Now, slipstream is going to be big this week, folks. It's going to be very, very, very big. So you will have some very close races at some points. And this is what makes it quite good, actually. Because you do have some of those close races. Now, some people won't like it. Some people will like it. I personally like the slipstream in this scenario because the racing is going to be really compact and tight. Well, especially when everyone gets used to the combo, it's going to be really good. We're going to head down towards the braking zone then, and we are past the Italian then, so up into P10. Happy days. We're not actually that far off the lead, to be honest with you, as we head towards the hairpin. We've actually caught a bit of a gap as well. Lots of people are... Oh, the Spaniard gets pushed off there into Paul GT3. And, wow, we're up into P8. Happy days. Big accident, that. Big, big accident. I think actually the Spaniard left there. Going into this fast left. This one, very hard to get right, especially even four-wheel drive. Oh, who's that? Speaking of getting it right, Candell got it very, very wrong. I love the livery, by the way, on the Subaru. The good old WRC livery there. Well played with that one. Right, okay, we'll leave there. We're still behind the Audi TT, which is nice to see a different car to the Subaru, to be honest with you. And as you know, I'm a bit of a fan of Audi as we head in towards the right-hander then. Looking to get a bit of slipstream here. As can we do it? So, four-wheel drive cars are quicker than the FF cars as well, believe it or not, which is insane to me because the FF cars are at a significant disadvantage. We're in the slipstream of Baggins 75. In fact, the FF cars keeping up now, so maybe top end the FF cars are quite... Oh, Piggy's been off there. Not sure what's happened to Piggy. As we'll leave that corner then. It's a weird place to go off, actually, as well. Maybe the Subaru lost the rear end. We're going to give them a bump draft there. As we are side by side once again with the Audi TT. So the Audi keeps that position then for now as we head towards the braking zone. Then down the inside the Audi goes. I would say that's a fair move, to be honest with you, from Stesso. Gets the job done. Now these two just have a slight tap there. And I think, okay, let's take full advantage of this. Down the middle we go. Look at this. Moses maneuver executed. In towards the braking zone we go. And Piggy misses their braking point entirely into the barrier. I'm just thankful I didn't get a 5-second penalty after all this. Now, Piggy is waiting up for me there. You can see that in the rear view mirror, so thank you, Piggy. We all make mistakes. I always say this. You can make mistakes. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you go from that mistake. Now, you didn't have to say I'm sorry in the race. We could have just talked about it at the end. It's all good. I could see you were sorry anyway. You waited up for me, which is fair dues as well. So, you know, don't feel bad. We all make mistakes. You've seen mistakes from me before. You're actually going to see a mistake from me in this race. So, it is what it is. Just carry on racing and enjoy the racing where you can. Right. We're down the inside of the Italian then as we head towards the hairpin. And at this point, because I've lost 3 or 4 seconds, I was like, right. I'm going to pit this lap. I'm going to try and risk pitting this early, which is a bit scary, to be honest with you, because I didn't really want to fight the Italian down the straight into turn 1, lose a bit more time. So we're going to go towards the right-hand side. That corner's easy flat. And we're going to head in towards the pits then. So it's 11.5 seconds as we come in. Let's see what it is when we leave there. 11.5 seconds. It's about 25 seconds there, pit stop. So obviously, just take that into consideration. Right, let's advance further on then, where it's the next lap. We just see Stesso that came in on softs very early and got on medium, so I know I have the better grip here. And you can see I'm catching them extremely quickly. And as we head towards turn 1, I mean, it was braking, so I was like, okay, let's do this. Now, I released the brake a little bit there, and I really shouldn't, actually, because I went too deep. So, if I'd have hit Stesso there, it was completely my fault. Now, they saw me coming, so they gave me the inside, which is fair dues, so we can continue on racing here. But yeah, not the greatest move. I would argue that's a mistake for myself as well, and it wouldn't have been the greatest overtake if I'd have hit them either, and I would have definitely given that position back. Now, we have Paul GT3 up ahead, who we saw was involved in that incident earlier on, actually. So, yeah, we know they're going to be pitting at some point. We're going to head towards the braking zone then. We're very close to Paul GT3 now. It's a shame you're in a GT4, eh? That would have made more sense then with your name if we're in Group 3. So we get a good run out the corner then, down the inside of Paul GT3. That'll just be my better tyres here as we go towards the right-hand side. And yeah, job done. Oh no, Paul's staying there. Look at this, Paul's staying there. I do need to do an oil change on this car. I have no idea whether it impacts it or not, but I've not done one in a while, and I've used this a lot of times. We're going to head down towards turn 1 and in towards the braking zone we go. Now, I go a bit deep here just because I wasn't too sure what was going to happen behind, but it's all good. We continue on that corner, and Paul's still there. Look at this, Paul, he's still there. Paul is going for the moves here. Got the moves like Jagger, apparently. But no. Right, in towards the braking zone we go. I was going to start singing then, but that's why I said no. In towards the right-hander, and we do get that job done then. So we are in P9 at the moment. Obviously, if you see me drop a position or two, gain position or two, it's because of pits or disconnects. Now, you can see we've caught up to Dav here much later on in the race then. I know Dav and Muscafi were on the soft tyres to begin with and are on the mediums towards the end. I see Dav just goes a bit deep here and then in towards the right-hander. Now, Alfa Romeo is not the car of choice here. It's just too slow. As you can see here, even out the corners, I'm just dominating that car. Absolutely dominating. In towards the braking zone we go as we get the job done. Now, you want to see how slow it is? Watch this. So they are in my slipstream, okay? They are in my slipstream. They're not catching. They're not catching. So it's always a pleasant race with Dav as well. So a shout out to you, mate. But look, they're not catching. And they don't catch. It is what it is. We advance towards final lap then. And we don't catch up to Muscafi, unfortunately. Without the incident, we probably win this race. So yeah, a bit gutted about that. But even so, I know it was a mistake. And it wasn't on purpose. Gonna head towards the line there. You see my tyres very, very iffy at the end there. I'd have probably gone one more lap on the mediums. So 4 on the mediums and 6 on the soft. That is it for race C. Let's jump to that track guide. Here we go then with the lap guide here for race C. Sardegna A. We're going to head down towards turn 1 then. And what you're looking for is that 100-meter board on the right-hand side. Obviously, with medium tyres, it'll just be just before that. In soft tyres, it's just after that. You're going to have to play with it, especially on... It's car-dependent as well, this, of course. But that is the brake marker you really want to look out for in Group 4 machinery. We'll leave that corner then and accelerate through. Nice and stable, nice and easy. No problemo. We're going to head over towards that right-hand side of the circuit. And as we head towards this left, we're actually going to be braking really late here. Going to try and get as close as you can to that gravel trap. Now, sometimes you'll go too close and you'll go a bit deep. So you're going to have to judge this accordingly. You could use the grandstand on the left-hand side that we saw before with the roof, but I was using that in this situation. Quick dab of the brake, chuck it right, and then head out of that corner and head in this diagonal path all the way over to the right-hand side. Now, what we're looking for here, you'll see the 50-meter board, and just after that, there's a billboard there, the one I've highlighted. When you get close to that, sometimes when it hits the edge of your screen, depending on the car, of course, that's when you're going to hit the brakes here, okay? It's a very late braking point, and then you want to chuck it in. As you go through this corner, you want to look for that gap in the trees right there. That's your accelerating marker. When you see that, you can accelerate out the corner, and you will make it no problem, or you should do anyway, as long as you're taking this line. Look at that. Still a bit of room there on the right hand side. Let's fast forward then towards the end of the back straight, and as we head into this braking zone then, the 100-meter board is your brake mark. You see I've just got on the brakes here, so you know we're not braking on it, it's just before it. And again, you're gonna have to be careful coming into here, of course. If you've got slipstream, you're gonna have to brake a bit earlier. If you're doing practice mode, obviously that's different, and obviously depends on the different tire compounds as well. Leave that corner nice and stable as well, because it's all-wheel drive once again. And we're going to head over towards that left-hand side. Oh, now, you might want to lift here a little bit. You're going to see me lift a tiny bit there. And it's basically to get as tight as I can to this right-hand side. And the end of the concrete curbing on the right, that's when you're going to hit the brakes and chuck it in. Now, I actually stay in 5th gear here, I believe. Yes, I do. And then you notice that I get very close to the barrier and I don't touch it. You will occasionally hit it. Just be careful about doing that. As you hit the last corner then, or technically the last corner in terms of braking, it's a 100-meter board, and I'm going to brake just as it hits the top of my screen here. Obviously on the medium tyres, you may want to brake a bit earlier, just to make sure you get the car stopped. So you want to clip the apex there, accelerate out, no problemo. And the next corner is just literally full throttle. There is no issues at all. And that is going to be your guide for Sardegna Layout A here in the Group 4 machinery. Right, folks, that's it for race C. Let's head to those bloopers. Right, here we go then. The start of race A. Now, this was carnage. What happened here then? So we know Stacey goes into Fransom Hank there. Going through here. Accelerating full throttle into 2 people. Somebody else goes off there. Yeah, again, I'll say this again. You punted somebody for them slightly tapping you, Stacey, and yet you've just punted 2 people there, and you're about to basically force me off the track here. You let off, and you wait for me to brake before hitting the brakes. You know, literally, Stig had already broken and slightly tapped you, and you went nuts. Absolutely insane, to be honest with you. You really need to think about your driving. That was a weird merge. Anyway, we continue on. And the Greek guy absolutely punted the German there. And if you didn't see it, the German got a 5-second penalty for being punted. Look at that. That is ridiculous. And seriously, I might see if I can report the Greek driver to PD or something, because it's quite obvious, just pure dirty driving. You're about to see that again here. Going through here. They get a bad run, obviously, because they went too deep on the previous corner. They line it up. 100% on the brakes for no reason whatsoever other than to punt me. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, through the right-hander we go. In towards the braking zone. So Luca just slightly tapped my rear there, and Mo's go through here, though. This is what got me confused a bit. They straightened up there, which sent me round. I still think it was just a mistake from Luca rather than an actual punt, but yeah, it had me questioning a bit more. Right, okay, who's the first victim of the chicane of death? It's P13 Black, who gets it all sorts of wrong there, going through the chicane of death. Fortunately ghosted for some people. Lap 2, and it's another Porsche. You can't park there, sir. Well, that's right. You definitely can't park there, sir, as they go into barrier. And that is another victim at the chicane of death. Right, what's next in terms of this? Right, okay, so this is where we had the BLZ on the inside. Now, once again, they start turning left here for some reason. I have no idea why Mo does that. It's a very odd thing to do. Again, they're slowly turning left here. Now, if they probably wanted to pump me off, they'd send me off. So I was very confused by this. They keep turning left for some reason. No idea why. I managed to catch it, fortunately, but yeah, very odd. Now, we did say the leader lost it. How did they lose it? Going through here, they just clipped the curb in the wrong way. Hit barrier. A 1.5 second penalty. The final victim that I could find was Javier here, who actually was just a victim from somebody going slow there. They didn't slow down themselves. Ended up in a closing gap. Right, okay, race C. So this, we saw the end of this. So Ducati went for a move down the inside on that corner. Doesn't work out. Always let the lead car go there. You can't make a move on that corner. It's impossible. But even so, it happened. So we look then at this corner. Oh, JH Motorsport just tapped the Alpha behind of the Spaniard, who then taps him into Paul. Oh, Paul then spins into that, and then the French driver's left nowhere to go. Yeah, well, that was just, I think that's just a really bad accident, to be honest with you. No one's really to blame for that one. All right, Piggy. How did Piggy lose it? It's coming into the brakes. Ah, the old Subaru weight transfer got Piggy there. Well, sometimes when you hit the brakes on the Subaru, it just sends itself left, and that's what happened there. Finally, that Moses. Look at that. There was just a Subaru-sized gap there to go down the middle. Piggy just completely misses their braking into the back of me there. And you can see here, they're waiting up. They're waiting for me. Good sportsmanship, as I say. Brilliant stuff. It's how you react to a bad accident. That's all that is. But that is it for this weekly race guide. Again, big shout out to Piggy there for waiting up. If you did like it, please do give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that's going to be it for me, folks. Hopefully, I will see you in another video or live stream very soon.